shop out in my backyard of my house here. So it's just a little 36 by 24 metal building, and full of old tools from around the world, and different industries and machines and hand tools and torches and welders and just the basics, the bare necessities to build bikes. My shop, like I said, is full of old machines and old tools from around the world. Machines that have done service in all kinds of different industrial trades. You know, take like, for example, my lathe. Comes from Davenport Locomotive Works in Iowa. And it was a big plant that built industrial train engines and also lathes. And so this big giant behemoth of a lathe, we drug it out of this old warehouse that was a big heavy equipment place. And man, to use like that old lathe, or like this mill over here is a Samp mill from Italy from 1957, and you know, just like old torches and old weld machines. And when you make this part on these old machines, you know, sometimes you think like, man, this machine was in some factory somewhere, and this was some guy's job. Every day it was to stand here and run this machine. What did that guy make on this machine? You know, what did he do? What was he like? What kind of person was he? You know, what kind of stories could these machines tell? I grew up working on cars, hot rods, race cars, that sort of deal. We always went to the drag races, and so I've always been around go fast stuff. I've always been around fabrication. My dad's been a welder, fabricator since before I was born. So the two have always kind of mixed for me. Man, I got into motorcycles a long time ago when I was about 17 years old. My old man brought home this old junked out Ironhead Sportster with busted cases, and told me if I wanted to go ride bikes with him, then I had to fix the bike and put it together. So I did. We fixed the cases, put the bike back together, and started riding it, and I hated that bike. I pushed it more than I ever rode it because it stayed broke down. But I don't know, something about that bike and getting to ride it, and when I did get to ride it, but working on it, and I just really enjoyed messing with motorcycles, and have been ever since then. Earlier this year, we went to Born Free show, and we were involved in a hot bike speed and style fabrication showdown powered by Harley Davidson. So they picked 6 builders across the country for a Harley to give an engine and transmission to, and then build a bike and debut it at Born Free. And we were fortunate enough to be one of the 6 chosen builders, and Harley sent us a 120R race engine with a 6-speed transmission, and said, here it is. Be in Cali in June. You know, the bike we built is obviously going to be different for Born Free because it's a twin cam. It's a new Harley engine, and those aren't very plentiful at Born Free. So obviously we have this modern power plant, but we built this really vintage style bike. It looks like an old race bike. We took things from different periods of racing history, from Harley Davidson, from drag racing to land speed racing to time trials, whatever. Cafe bikes, and we put it all together. So it still kind of fit well with Born Free because it's a vintage style bike. And I think a lot of guys there kind of opened their eyes to, hey, this is a brand new power plant, this is a new transmission, and these guys are building some pretty cool stuff with it. You know, maybe we don't always have to have pans or knuckles, although they're nice, but you know, maybe it's still cool to use a modern power plant. Later today, we're going to go ride some scramblers over with Smoky Mountain Harley Davidson, and those guys are a really cool dealership, man. It's unlike any other dealership that you've ever been to, and these guys have been working really hard to try to revive the scrambler spirit from like the 60s and 70s, whenever they were really a hot item. So these guys are taking late model sporties and turning them into scramblers, and I've been fortunate enough to do some of those for them. The first one I did was a 1974 Ironhead Sportster, so I got stuck with the old iron. But I built this really cool scrambler that looks like it could have went into a Harley dealership in the late 70s, early 80s and bought it. It looks like it was a factory type bike. and that's what they're doing. The bikes that they build are really high quality and function really well, and they look like a bike that should be on the showroom floor. And we'll take them out in the Smoky Mountains. I mean, you're not going to find a better place to go ride a scrambler than in the Smoky Mountains. You know, and these bikes, I think you'll be impressed with how well they perform. Riding motorcycles is completely different than anything else you do with your friends. You know, you can ride bikes and be in a group of guys and still feel like you're alone. You kind of have this sense of camaraderie around your friends or other guys that are on bikes, and so it's kind of crazy because you can feel like you're alone, but at the same time have friends that you've never met. I've only been full-time in my shop here for like a few weeks now. I've always had a full-time job. It was basically like having 2 full-time jobs. A 50-hour-a-week regular job and then 40 hours here in the shop. It was only 40 because I had to sleep and see the family sometime, you know. And so, no, I'm very fortunate to have some big projects coming up, and that's opened the door for us to do this full time. I'm the full-time guy here. My buddies still come over and help out. My buddy Chase and my friend Carp and my dad Ed comes over, and we all work on stuff together. And it's really a cool deal, man. And I'm very thankful, very blessed to have the opportunity to be able to do this. It's like, man, when you get to do something that you're passionate about and something that you really love and really want to do, it's like you're not working. Whenever I made a decision to start working in my shop full time, a lot of guys ask, you know, well, where are you going to be a couple years from now, 2, 3, 4 years from now, whatever. You know, man, I don't have this best laid out plan. I don't have it. It just seemed like the thing that I'm supposed to be doing, man. It was a tough decision. A lot of thought, prayer, aggravation went into making that decision, and you know, I don't know. I don't have a certain answer. All I know is I want to make a solid living and provide for my family in the motorcycle industry in some aspect. You know, do I have like this grand scheme of this huge shop with all these employees? No. You know, are we going to do what we're doing now? Yeah, building custom bikes and making quality parts. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. I'm Matt Harris in Alcoa, Tennessee, and this is my shop, 40 Cal Customs, and we build motorcycles.